Shalom. Barakatah Yahawashi Yahawashi. Barakatah Yahawashi Yahawashi. This is Apostle Rakah back again with another impromptu video. I said shalom to all you brothers of the hopeful elect. Okay. And I want to go into this, man, right? Because this is some clarification. I guess the title of this video could be used, you have to learn how to extrapolate things spiritually in this truth. Now, the Apostle Paul, right? I'm in the book of Galatians, the 5th chapter, Galatians 5:1, right? And we know Apostle Paul was big on faith in Yahawashi, right? The Apostle Paul, he was a Pharisee. He was down with the Pharisees in the beginning. He was like a enforcer for the Pharisees back when his name was Saul, right? And he was raised up as a Pharisee. He was raised up in the law. So he knew the law perfectly, better than anybody around, right? The law, talking about the law in the scriptures, the Levitical laws of the Levites, right? The Apostle Paul was a Benjamite, but he worked for the Levites. He was actually the guy that was commissioned by the priests, which were the Levites, the high priests, to go out and hunt down the disciples of Yahawashi. But unbeknownst to anybody, he was really one of the elect. Right? But the Lord had him do that. That shows you the power of the Lord. When the scriptures say the Lord's hand is not shortened that it cannot save. At that time, the 12 disciples and the other disciples and apostles that was back there, Saul, when he was an enemy of Yahawashi. But Yahawashi recruited him himself to be a servant of the Lord. They didn't trust him at first. They looked at him sideways, man. Peter, when he went to meet Peter, and they were leery of him, man. But the Spirit of the Lord was really working with him, right? But anyways, when Saul became Paul, he changed his name to the Apostle Paul. He became a new creature in Yahawashi, right? And he was deep about faith, right? About, look, man, the laws are not going to save you. Because you had them hypocritical priests and them hypocritical Jews back then that were all into the law, keeping the laws. You got to keep the law perfectly, the law, right? But them guys are really hypocrites. That's why when Yahawashi, when they wanted to stone the woman, right? And then Yahawashi kneeled down and started writing in the ground. We don't know, the scripture don't exactly say that, but we extrapolate Yahawashi that said he kneeled down and started writing in the ground. What was he writing? We speculate that he was probably writing the sins. The guys that wanted to stone the woman for adultery, Yahawashi was probably writing their sins in the earth with his finger, you see? So that's why they threw the stones down and left out, because they got cut. So a lot of guys that so-called keep the law outwardly are really hypocrites, are really wicked. And we got them same guys back around today, right? The laws, you gotta keep the law. IUIC be talking about that. Some of these other Israelite camps talk about you gotta keep the law, you gotta keep the law, them laws. Even like ISUPK, they be talking about keeping the laws. Bishop Nate, IUIC, they be talking about keeping the laws. Them Sakari guys, they keep the law, right? Which they not even keeping the law, man. All right? You understand what I'm saying? So the Apostle Paul was saying, like circumcision right now. But we're going to get into that. I don't want to jump ahead of myself. I want to read this scripture, right? The primary thing is we're under grace right now. None of us are keeping the laws perfectly. So realistically, we're not keeping the law. Like I said, the Sabbath just ended, right? When was it Saturday night? Salakia, man, Satan attacking my feet again. Anyways, man, the law, right? Salakia, brothers, attacking my feet, man. Anyway, like the Sabbath, brothers sometimes got to work on the Sabbath, right? The clothes we wear, remember the scriptures talk about, in the law, it says you're not supposed to wear mixed fabrics. If you're wearing a silk shirt, it got to be all silk. If you're wearing a wool shirt, it got to be all wool. You're supposed to mix wool and silk together and different, like with Esau, rayon, all these different, Esau's the devil, mixing fabrics in, you know what I mean? So, like, the law is very intricate, man. So that's what the Apostle Paul was trying to say. Now let me read this, man. I'm going to try to make this a quick one because there's another topic for another video I want to touch on, man. Galatians 5:1. Stand fast, therefore, in the liberty wherewith Yahawashi hath made us free, and be not entangled again with the yoke of bondage. Yeah, right? The liberty is the liberty because we're not in a situation where we can keep. Yahawashi died to cover the sins of Israel, starting with the elect. So if it was just based upon us keeping the law, that's the yoke of bondage, being indebted to the law in the situation that we in, right? Now I'm going to touch on that. Well, I got another scripture for that, meaning we're under grace right now. Let's just come straight. We're not under the law right now. Because if we were under the law, then we're adapted to keep that whole law. So that means all of us, none of us will make it out of here alive. That means nobody should be delivered. None of us should be delivered. Because we're wicked as hell. We're children of sin. Okay? A lot of us, our parents, case in point, my father and mother, my mother was dealing with men before she met my father. She wasn't a virgin when she met my father. So technically, both of my parents are adulterers. I'm an adulterer. We're adulterers. I've never been with a virgin. So I never had a woman of my own. Every woman I've ever been with in my life, they had men before I got to them. So I'm an adulterer. All those women are adulteresses. So you see what I'm saying? So if we were under the law, then we all need to be put to death. So that's the yoke of bondage, you see? Because the Lord knew that Israel would fall and be all messed up. So by Yahawashi down on the cross, that was him freeing us. We're under a grace period right now where we rehearse the righteous acts because that's righteous to do. And say, well, fuck it, man. I'm just going to go ahead and get me some shrimp. I'm going over here to the seafood place and get a nice big basket of popcorn shrimp with some tartar sauce and get down. No, man, that's being outright wicked. All right, let me read on. Behold, I, Paul, say unto you, that if you be circumcised, Yahawashi shall profit you nothing, right? For I testify to every man that is circumcised that he is a debtor to do the whole law. You see what I'm saying? All right. You see what I'm saying? So that's what it's talking about. Now, circumcision, I'm circumcised. Most brothers I know are circumcised. You should be circumcised if you can, but we got certain brothers that in the past was around us that wasn't circumcised. Now, to salute the Torah, when we do the Sabbath service, you can't salute the Torah if you're not circumcised, so you got to be pure. Now, if we'll tell you, if you can be circumcised, be circumcised. There were certain guys back then during the time of the Apostle Paul that was saying that wasn't circumcised. Remember, Apostle Paul, he went to the Israelite foreigners. And remember, the Israelites that grew up amongst the heathens, some of them were uncircumcised. They came up in the customs of the heathen. But they were believers in Yahawashi. They were sincere. So the Apostle Paul welcomed them into the congregation. Right? So that was the point he was making. He wasn't speaking against circumcision, saying, fuck it, don't get circumcised. But he was saying, look, it's more important that you have faith in Yahawashi. You have your spirit together because the flesh profiteth nothing, like it says in the scriptures, right? You see what I'm saying? It was like, hey, man, certain guys weren't circumcised, but they believed in Yahawashi, okay? And they were sincere about it. They were true to the heart brothers. They were of the elect. So the spirit at that time that was just saying, look, man, look, they're not circumcised, they ain't circumcised. But are they serving the Lord? Yeah, they're serving the Lord. You see? Because eventually, it's about getting your spirit together. If you have the faith and your heart's in the right place, eventually you will be motivated to become circumcised. That was the point what Apostle Paul was trying to make. Look, because them Jews in Jerusalem, look, they got to get circumcised right now. Or they can't come around us. That's the spirit they was coming in. You see what I'm saying? But the Apostle Paul was saying, no, man. No. Listen, welcome these brothers in. Okay? And, let them learn. Let them grow in the spirit. Eventually, they'll be compelled to do it, right? I'm going to read the 4th verse. Yahawashi is become to no effect of you. Whosoever of you are justified by the law, you are fallen from grace. Boom, that's right. So all these guys are the law. You got to keep them laws. You got to keep them laws. then you know what? The spirit of Yahawashi don't cover you, because you saying you don't need Yahawashi. You saying you're establishing your own righteousness. You see what I'm saying? That's what the Apostle Paul was saying, man. But then you might have some scoffers out there, some idiots, some bozos, some GMS is teaching not to keep the law. I'm going to answer that with a scripture. Romans 3:31. It's the Apostle Paul again. Do we then make void the law through faith? Lord forbid. Yea, we establish the law. That's right. We rehearse the righteous acts. That's what I'm saying. It covers everything. So the Apostle Paul wasn't saying F the law. He was saying, look, for them brothers that was coming in, brothers coming in and out the world, you might have certain brothers out there that's not circumcised, right? But if you just learning the truth, you got to go get circumcised before you can join GMS. No. You come in, you learn the scriptures, be sincere, serve the Lord. Excuse me, but then once you come up on a certain level, eventually you will be compelled to be circumcised. So we still rehearse the righteous acts. The Apostle Paul said that. All right, that's why brothers do what we do, right? We don't commit adultery. We don't eat pork, right? Brothers grow their beards. Brothers, we keep we acknowledge the Sabbath. We acknowledge the Passover, the high holy. Hanukkah just passed. We acknowledge the high holy days. You see? To the best of our abilities, we keep the law. Because it's a rehearsal, rehearsing. We under grace. We ain't saved by that, but we still keep the law. We establish the law. We still push. Your brothers got to keep the law. You know that. You acknowledge the Sabbath. You don't eat abominations. You don't commit adultery. So on and so forth. To the best of our abilities. Because that shows that you got a righteous spirit in you. You understand what I mean? But I just wanted to make that quick point. That was something that was on my mind I wanted to bring out. I pray that this video was edifying. And I say shalom to you brothers of the hopeful elect.